the last few months, the entire planet has had to deal with all sorts of crap.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Alright, so before we get into the video, first things first. I would like to officially, on the record, formally apologize in advance for torturing you with this guy's voice. Trust me, this isn't going to be any more fun for me than it is for you. Needless to say, this isn't the video I was looking forward to doing, but nonetheless, it needed to be done. Fortunately, however, it is a pretty short video, so we won't have to deal with it for particularly long. But yeah, just proceed with caution.
From pandemics to earthquakes, from plagues to tornadoes. It's been batshit crazy from east to west.
Yeah, I will say this. The past year has been interesting, to say the least. The best way to sum up the past year or so, shit's gone crazy. On top of the global pandemic we've been experiencing, there's also the murder of George Floyd, massive riots from BLM and Antifa, and a pedophilia scandal on Netflix. You know, if you think about it, it's actually been pretty eventful for a year in which people have been forced to stay inside and not do anything.
And you figure a globally shared catastrophe would get collective humanity.
Hold on, let me stop you right there. The video just began and already there's a correction in order. When he just referred to collective humanity, simply put, there's no such thing. Humanity is not a collective. There isn't some sort of singular hive mind that everyone just kind of plugs their consciousness into. Humanity is a collection of individuals. A diverse array of unique individuals, each with their own mind, consciousness, thoughts, feelings, experiences, preferences. The entirety of the human race is not a collective.
To wake up, see the bigger picture, and set aside their petty differences in order to unite for the greater good.
I don't think there's ever been a pairing of words that have been used as a pretense to justify evil more than greater good. Like, pick any tyrant throughout history. Hitler, Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot, there's pretty much a guarantee that they thought what they were doing is for the greater good. You see, the reason the greater good is often invoked is because it's a completely subjective and baseless concept, but just so happens to sound nice, which makes it perfect for justifying pretty much anything.
However, you can't stop stupid!
Unfortunately not, but you can at least deter stupid, or discourage it, which is one of the reasons I make these videos.
Because even during a pandemic, where everyone should be staying the fuck inside...
So let's quickly discuss this assumption he's making here, that during a pandemic, everyone should just be staying inside. Maybe early on in a pandemic, I can see people believing that, but now that it's been a year, we have a lot of data to suggest that lockdowns don't really accomplish much of anything. Like, they destroy the economy, they destroy lives, and for what? I mean, the virus still spread anyways.
You have those dim-witted idiots on a crowded beach complaining... This pandemic is totally ruining my spring break.
The pandemic is ruining a lot of things, not just spring break. It's ruining the economy, small businesses, people's jobs, people's lives, people's education, freedom, happiness. As a matter of fact, spring break is probably one of the least likely things to be ruined by the pandemic, since Florida never actually locked down. You see, a common strategy used by lockdowners is that they'll cherry pick very trivial complaints, like people complaining about spring breaks or not being able to get a haircut or this and that. They'll cherry pick these particularly minor complaints because it helps them downplay the massive harm being caused by what they advocate for. Yes, a lot of people are complaining about minor inconveniences being caused by the pandemic, like not being able to get a haircut, but what about that barber who's unable to give the haircut but nonetheless still has bills coming in?
Or, one of the more sophisticated responses I've heard, no flu gonna stop me partying, brah! Woo!
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Well, first of all, it is a well-known fact that COVID-19 is statistically less likely to kill you than the flu. As a matter of fact, COVID-19 actually has a lot in common with the flu. Not only are the symptoms and death rates similar, but they're also both seasonal illnesses. They peak and wane in different times of the year. But second of all, and more importantly, so what if people want to go out on the beach and party and have fun? That's none of your damn business. Even if gathering together during the pandemic poses a risk of exposure to COVID-19, people should have the right to decide for themselves whether or not they want to accept that risk. I mean, risk is just an inherent part of life, even without the pandemic going on. Sorry, but the entire world isn't obligated to revolve around what you specifically feel to be an acceptable level of risk.
Why are you people still alive?
Actually, that's a pretty good question. If COVID-19 really is this horribly deadly, dangerous disease that we all need to lock down and stay inside to avoid, you'd think these people going out and partying during spring break would be dropping like flies. The fact that most of them are coming out of it unscathed does kind of undermine your position.
You fucking morons!
Yeah, buddy, I'm sure you have the mandate to call anyone a fucking moron.
Now, even though part of society has continued to act like a big bag of swollen dicks...
Yeah, buddy, you're the one getting up on your high horse, trying to shame and berate other people just because they want to go out and have a little bit of fun. If anyone here's being a swollen bag of dicks, it's you.
The majority of humans have pulled together to get shit done. They have proven they can help each other in a crisis, proven they will self-sacrifice in times of need for the benefit of others, and have shown their ability, for the most part, to approach issues somewhat intelligently.
Okay, so if most people are taking the pandemic seriously and are willing to self-sacrifice for the benefit of others, what's the problem? I mean, sure, there might be a minority of idiots out there who aren't taking the pandemic seriously or are willing to self-sacrifice, but the thing is that minority of idiots is always going to be there. You're just kind of wasting your time and energy by complaining about them.
For everyone else out there, toss yourself in a fucking blender and hit liquefy!
Okay, so spreading around a disease with a 2% mortality rate is a horrible, awful thing to do, but apparently people who disagree with you deserve to be mutilated. Because logic.
We have an opportunity post-pandemic to collectively have a better understanding and acceptance of each other. We now, globally, have a shared experience and cause. One of survival. One of communication. One of understanding. If this has taught humanity anything, aside from how to properly wash their fucking hands, it's that humanity, society, and the planet is always in a very fragile state.
So this is just a bunch of mushy-gushy, collectivist feel-good rhetoric, followed by some fear-mongering about how fragile the world is. More just empty, meaningless rhetoric devoid of any actual argumentation.
And complaining about meaningless shit and how someone said something benign, yet it somehow hurt your feelings because you're sensitive! Gotta tell ya, shut the fuck up, dude. We done with that. We're done with your whining and complaining. We're done with your feelings and how logical lessons from history...
Yeah, logical lessons from history are like the last thing that would actually help your argument. There's not a single moment in the history of civilization in which giving the government special powers to violate individual freedoms for a greater good actually resulted in anything positive at all.
Somehow offended you. We're done with your safe spaces, your triggering, your inane complaints about mundane bullshit.
This is the hardest home I've ever had to sell, but here you go, Mr. Joel. Here are the keys to your new glass house.
Thanks. You know, I didn't want to buy this, but you really wore me down.
Just don't throw any stones.
Yeah, the only one here who's whining, complaining, and getting triggered is you. This guy's like screaming like an absolute lunatic because some people decide to go out on the beach and have some fun, and meanwhile he's trying to talk to us about getting triggered. Yeah, that's rich, buddy.
And your me mentalities. We're done with the spoiled, self-involved shitbag.
You know, I love how it's become a selfish and egocentric thing to want to go out and have fun and live your life, but not selfish or egocentric to demand how other people live, or to expect that other people sacrifice what gives their life meaning and happiness because you can't be bothered to take some precautions for yourself.
Demanding everyone change things for their feelings.
'Cause the pot came cold, the kettle black.
Dude, that's what you've been doing this entire video. Demanding other people change their behavior because it hurts your feelings. Like, you've just perfectly described what you're doing in this video down to a T. Jeez, the hypocrisy levels in this video are off the charts.
We don't care anymore.
I don't care anymore. I don't care anymore.
You know, for someone who supposedly doesn't care, you sure seem to be getting quite upset about it. You know, it's like, I don't care about this. Which is why I'm gonna take time out of my life to make a video where I scream and bitch about it.
You don't get an award for participating. You lost. You get no trophy. Go home.
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
As for the rest of you, if y'all fall back into this type of behavior, the type of behavior where you complain about bullshit and whine about your feelings, I'm gonna be on you like a leech on your ass in a malaria-infested swamp in a sweltering summer.
So do you plan on being on yourself? Like a leech on your ass in a malaria-infested swamp in the middle of summer? Because what you've just described there, complaining and whining and bitching about dumb shit, is pretty much what you've been doing this entire video.
From here on out, the only thing that should trigger you or offend you is human stupidity.
Well, I've been dealing with human stupidity quite frequently on this channel, and I've managed to handle it without getting triggered or offended, so if I can do it, I'm pretty sure you can as well.
And if you need an example of that, look up Spring Break Pandemic 2020. Done.
You know, you should probably be actually happy that these spring breakers are deciding to congregate at a beach. Because even according to the CDC, the virus is less likely to spread outdoors than indoors. This is one of the reasons that masks are required inside buildings but not in, say, public parks. And let's think about it for a minute. When you're going to a beach, you're dealing with sharks, jellyfish, undercurrents, getting sunburnt. To be quite honest, COVID-19 is probably the least likely thing to kill you at a beach.
Shut up with your whiny bullshit, you leaky shitholes. It's over. Nobody cares about your self-involved bullshit. There are bigger problems. Shut up. Fuckers.
You know, I don't think there's ever been a time the phrase take your own advice has been more applicable than here. Yeah, buddy, if anyone here needs to shut up and stop complaining, it's you, my friend. Once again, I'm extremely sorry for torturing you with this guy, but thank you for sticking through it. This has been Opossum making stupidity play dead. Until next time, take care.